The rise and fall of NFTs and virtual real estate have been nothing short of a roller coaster. Once hailed as the future of ownership and creativity, these digital assets faced their fair share of skepticism during the boom and inevitable bust. But today, a new chapter is unfolding. In the heart of the metaverse, platforms like Decentraland are redefining what's possible, where ambition, imagination, and innovation are driving the next wave of digital value. Let's explore what's happening now and why it matters. Kim Currier, head of partnerships and marketing at Decentraland, joins us today for an exploration of more than just virtual landscapes. We discuss the rising tide of NFT trading in 2025, what's fueling this new surge, and how Decentraland finds its place amid the evolving metaverse. As speculative hype yields to utility, Kim shares how platforms are moving beyond the art of the possible into the realm of the meaningful, where NFTs unlock tangible experiences, gaming assets gain purpose, and trust outweighs trend. We explore the metaverse as a hub for social experiences where brands are no longer just observers, but active participants, creating immersive moments that bring value to their customers. It's a space where people can step away from their busy lives to relax, recharge, and touch grass in a virtual world designed for connection and creativity. Whether you're a collector riding the waves of market shifts, a brand searching for your audience in uncharted territory, or a curious newcomer ready to dive into this ever-evolving digital frontier, there's more to this world than meets the eye. Virtual worlds hold the potential to bridge divides, foster connection, and reshape how we engage in an increasingly polarized digital age. So let's get ready to uncover these stories, challenge the status quo, and explore the future together. Welcome to the Defiant podcast. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Defiant podcast. I'm your host, Vinny, and I'm here with Kim Currier, the head of partnerships and marketing at Decentraland. Hey Kim, thanks for being here.
Hey Vinny, I'm so excited to chat with you. Thanks for the invite.
Me too. As many of you in our audience know, I'm an NFT degen, so I am super stoked to be talking with you, Kim, today, back in my motherland of NFTs. So let's jump right in. The NFT market is seeing a little bit of a resurgence in 2025, which I think most of us are very excited about, with trading volumes as well as unique buyers up on the rise. So from your perspective, what is driving this renewed interest in digital collectibles and in the metaverse more broadly?
Yeah, I think it's been so exciting. I'm also an NFT collector personally, so I'm excited to see this jump back up. And I think it has to do with a lot of what's happening culturally right now. Like even outside of our space, we are seeing at a 10,000 foot view, like there's more political talk about crypto and the metaverse. The news articles are getting excited. I think what's happening in the entertainment industry overall of what's been going on in terms of IP and excitement around different shows. This is what's driving this interest here. And I'm excited it's coming back. I mean, I got into crypto in 2021 in the middle of the NFT craze. Unfortunately, I don't have any that are really like pumping today, but I'm just excited to see it. I think culturally, NFTs are a ton of fun. They're a way for communities to rally around something, whether it's a topic or a creator design or an artist, and just build connection across the globe. And that's how I got really tied into this space. It's super exciting to see people across the globe really find alignment with one another and that sense of like social community. So that's been a ton of fun. I mean, I've been loving watching what's been happening with Pudgy Penguins and really going beyond just the NFT itself. I'm a marketer, as you mentioned, so I'm like, oh, what they've been doing with like their Giphies and what they've been doing with their toys in Walmart. And it's expanding beyond just our small little crypto Twitter atmosphere. And that's what's so fun and exciting.
I mean, Pudgy Penguins sold a book deal with a major publishing house.
Oh,
so like,
I mean, they're checking all the boxes. They're doing it.
Seriously. So you mentioned a couple of really interesting things, including IP, music, art, culture. How does Decentraland bring all these things together in this evolving landscape?
Yeah, for anyone that's not familiar, so Decentraland is a social virtual world. And so I think of it as the opportunity for you to have cultural experiences. So We have multi-day music festivals in Decentraland every Friday night or every Monday afternoon. There's like a live DJ party. We have an art.
I've been.
It's so much fun, right? Like, I joke that I'm a mom with 2 toddlers. Like, I don't get to get out and go clubbing and live DJ events all the time, but like, I get to jump into Decentraland, do a quick little outfit change on my avatar, and I'm like, I'm there, I'm having a good time. And so there are so many people today, especially in this like post-pandemic era, of trying to find community and connection and reconnect to like what's happening culturally in the world and have those experiences. And so places like Decentraland, where you can log in from home if you're unable to go to an art exhibit. Maybe you don't live in a big city like New York or London, where there are beautiful galleries and museums all around you, but like you love art. Like, okay, great. There is a place that you can log in from anywhere. You're in a remote town in Mexico. Like, jump in, come in, have an art experience like Art Week, which is coming up in September 20th. So we have things like that, the Music Fest, Fashion Week. We have chess tournaments that happen monthly. So just really finding opportunities to give people these really fun social, cultural experiences. And that's why I'm excited about the potential for virtual worlds as we continue to kind of grow and see how social kind of changes. Right now, I think a lot of people think social and they think like a 2D reaction to something someone else does. And like, maybe that's a day later or a month later if you're on Instagram, LinkedIn, depending on where you are. But being in a metaverse environment, like a virtual world, you can react right away. You're seeing your friend do something. You can give them your avatar a high five. You guys can have a dance party. You can do something actually together. And even if you're unable to do that in the physical world. And I think that's such an amazing opportunity for so many people across the globe.
And I think especially you have so many people who would be into the metaverse who are, you know, younger millennials, elder Gen Z. Like, we all have long distance best friends, right? So like, this is kind of a great opportunity to see people that you live in different cities or different parts of the world from as well. I've certainly used it for that purpose myself.
We've actually had Metamona and some other people that I've met through Web3 have hosted their birthday parties in Decentraland. And I think that's an amazing use case. Like, all of us in this space, our friends, we're meeting at conferences, or we're going to an event that pops up in a city that we're nomad traveling through, you know, and then you don't get the opportunity to be together except for, you know, 3 times a year. And so finding those moments to say like, hey, what are you doing Friday night? I heard there's this live DJ in Decentraland. Let's at least both jump in together and like hang out in a way that feels different than like jumping on a Zoom together.
Absolutely. Yeah. Now you're doing something fun, you know, while you're chatting, like real life. Yeah. Exactly. So I think that, you know, you mentioned that you got into crypto in 2021. Same for me. And so that was a very different NFT market than what we're seeing right now. Right. And so it seems to be shifting away from that chaotic speculation and hype, and it's a lot more utility driven. And so you mentioned a couple of, you know, utility driven applications so far in Decentraland. Can you share any others that come to mind or that you're seeing?
Yeah. So within Decentraland, many parts of the world are NFTs. So the land itself that these scenes are built on are NFTs, as well as the wearables and the emotes, which are the actions your avatar does. So all of those are different NFTs. And so what's really exciting, like, and think about in traditional gaming, right? You buy a skin, you're giving money to the platform. And then at any point, if they decided that skin is discontinued, like, it's gone forever, too bad, goodbye money. Or you changed your style and you're like, that skin was super, I don't know, fighter style, and I'm a little softer now. I don't want it. You can't sell it.
I bought it at 2 a.m., okay, when I was rage playing. I don't know who that is.
Exactly. You're like, I am not that girl anymore. And you can try to like black market. I've heard some people doing some like black market sales, trying to hack this stuff. But like, why? You own it. Like, let's really use the reason NFTs exist, like ownership and creativity and ensuring creators are getting paid for their work. And so all of this in Decentraland, they're all NFTs. Creators make all of it, which is so exciting to see. So the wearables, the emotes, most of our creators are actually even self-taught, which hats off to them. So impressive. The amount of YouTube videos they've watched, it's unbelievable. But they're sold directly from community member to community member. It's 97.5% is what our creators keep, which is like huge in this space to have that type of revenue going back to them, and then 2.5% royalties forever. And we know there's collectors out there that are like, oh, I am looking for the rarest Decentraland wearables. And they'll go back to like our OG days. Decentraland was built completely on Ethereum. And so there's some L1 wearables out there. And when I see those people come in World, I'm like, oh, that's an OG, or that is like a top tier collector, because that's a really expensive wearable.
Right.
And so it's kind of fun to see how people create those digital identities about themselves with what they're buying in the marketplace. So the types of wearables they're buying, the types of emotes they're buying. So emotes could be, I own one that's my favorite one, which is just like sitting on a swing, and you're just like kind of swinging, chilling, hanging out. So like if I'm watching in all hands, I'll like sit on the swing. But there's other like super ones where we drop like confetti bombs, or some people have done some hug ones, and it's just like feeling more interactive in the environment. And so I've been really excited watching the Decentraland marketplace and seeing all the different creators coming in and being able to make money off their work for it, and then share that with the community, and that generosity that people have where they're gifting each other wearables and emotes. And again, it's back to that, like, NFTs bring that sense of community no matter where you're using them, in Decentraland, on a Discord group. Like, it just is bringing people together that have some shared values of some sort.
Yeah, and I mean, the gifting NFTs is the oldest, like, part of that culture that I can think of. Like, that's 2018 NFTs where you're like, my Carlos Marcial got gifted to me, I'm going to send him something that I made. And it's like no big deal. So I really love that's happening. So two questions come to mind. One is, you mentioned that the OG Decentraland wearables are on the Ethereum L1. Where are they being minted now?
So everything has been Polygon as of the past few years, mostly for speed, cost efficiency, all of that. So our L1s are Ethereum, and then all the current stuff is all migrated over to Polygon.
And then the second question that comes to mind is, do you actively look for creators to bring them on to create on Decentraland? Or are you seeing a lot more energy of creators coming to Decentraland and just wanting to create there?
Recently, we haven't done an intentional push to find like wearable and emote creators, but we have been looking for artists. We just did an open call recently, actually, for artists to build scenes in Decentraland. So come in and bring your creativity into a 3D environment, and what would that scene look like for you? And if they're not 3D builders, we've paired them with a builder so that they can bring their idea to life in a new way. So that all of that work. We have 20 new builds that are coming in for Art Week, so really excited about that one. But we just started a Creator Academy workshops that we do, so letting people come in and learn from the beginning onward. And then we also just recently released no-code and low-code tools in our Creator Hub, so you can start coming in at a baseline. I am not a coder. I do not pretend to be in it. So you can come in and do some low-code, basic template scenes, like, hey, I want to have a template nightclub scene, a template gallery scene. Come in, start from there, do your own little customizations, and over time, we expect you'll learn more, you'll want to customize more, and that's where the coding language comes in. And the community has been really great at like teaching one another and helping one another, and that's what I think the basis of the crypto industry that I've fallen in love with is just like that communal learning and education has been everyone's been so generous with their time.
Absolutely. And I mean, everything you're saying is reminding me of those my early days in the NFT world, where everything was collaborative and people are down to just share hours of their time to teach you how to do these things, which I think is important when you think about all of the roadblocks that there are to getting into crypto, let alone getting into digital art plus crypto plus metaverse worlds, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So do you see any kinds of like gaming or gaming NFTs coming into Decentraland?
Yeah, there's been some groups that have been really creative. So I'm on the foundation side, so we're making sure like the platform works, the fundamentals are there. And then what's been really cool is seeing how the creators create and what they end up building and how they get super innovative with how they use the platform. So some groups have made wearables that have functionality built into them for the scenes.
Get that jetpack.
Exactly, that type of stuff. They're known as smart wearables in Decentraland. So people have created things like that are really fun. And those obviously have different values in the marketplace, but depending on what the creator's doing with them, the access they give you. And then we've also seen a community member we have named called Lastrom has actually been building really cool gamified like tools that he's open sourcing and having other community members build upon. He's doing it through this brand he's doing called The Forge. And it's actually building tools that allow for interoperability with other virtual worlds too. And so it's been really, really cool to see. And again, that's a community member that's building. And I just can't wait to see how that continues to develop as more community members are using those tools and trying to figure this all out.
Yeah, I think that's such a crucial part of it because, of course, there are going to be other virtual worlds that spring up. And I want to wear my cute pink jumpsuit in crypto voxels too, that I purchased at Decentraland. I want to take it with me, just because you buy something at the Gucci store doesn't mean you now live there.
The PR Genius is a top crypto PR and growth marketing agency, helping brands globally with expert PR and strategic growth marketing. They've worked with 300 plus projects like Movement Labs and IO.net. Unlike traditional agencies, they charge only on performance. Their services include earned PR opportunities and marketing services to help boost wallet holders and organic X followers. Learn more at www.theprgenius.com.
Are you seeing a lot of progress being made in making things interoperable? Because that was something we were talking about back in 2022. And here we are 3 years later, still kind of being like, well, wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah. Parts of it, super difficult to do and technologically, not there yet. Other parts are a lot easier. So the Decentraland wearables are all EVM compatible. And so you can actually download all of them and bring them into any space that is also EVM compatible. So you have to have both ends on that spectrum. But it's been really cool to see people bring them into OnCyber or download them and become a VTuber with their Decentraland avatar. They've really turned some of these avatars into their real digital identity that they use all the time. And so that's been a lot of fun to see, especially for the creators that it made maybe this hairstyle that has become someone's signature look or the outfit. Immediately identify, you're like, that's toxic waifu. I recognize her style anywhere. Being able to see people craft their identity and then be so attached to it and want to bring it somewhere else is really exciting. So that's been the baseline of interoperability that we've had so far. But I've been really impressed with what the Forge has been doing on interoperability, and I expect more people will keep building. It's one of those the hardware, software, how far can we get with baseline and expected standards?
Right. And, in DeFi, they're working a lot on how do we create interoperable, financial tools. And I actually wonder, I almost feel like games and fashion are going to push it even faster because that's something, the fashion world, the gaming world, they're so intense. If you've ever talked to a gamer, they're probably not talking to you unless it's about games, right? So they're very passionate people. And so I really, I don't care who cracks it first because it's going to help everybody in the long run.
I feel like this whole industry is a rising tide lifts all ships. I'm so impressed when another virtual world cracks something we haven't been able to. I'm this is really cool technology and we're all doing the best we can with learning while we're flying the plane. And so
yes.
All try to crack the same things, figure out a way to do it, open source it, and really learn together. So I'm hoping gaming and fashion, I think those industries are always ripe for that first innovation.
Yeah, exactly. So the metaverse is really evolving into specialized virtual spaces. That's something I've seen over the last couple of years, rather than, I think, what we thought about it 4 years ago of a more unified digital world. So how is Decentraland positioning itself in this kind of landscape?
Yeah, I think of it personally as there's one metaverse and then there's different experiences within it. Just there's one internet and there's tons of experiences within it. And so I think of us really owning that social virtual world. So if you want to have an online 3D experience with friends, this is a great place to do that, especially for cultural moments like music, art, some fun social games. I wouldn't say Decentraland is hardcore competitive AAA level gaming. Like that is not our bread and butter. But if you want to like jump in and have like super fun, like trivia back and forth, we did this for Game Arena recently. And it was just like, you had to jump your avatar to the top of the tower before the other avatars. Like that stuff, ton of fun. And like, we do a great job with that in terms of like the social elements specifically.
Yeah. I'm kind of imagining that this would be a really great place for remote teams, which, well, we work in crypto. We're mostly remote
all
teams.
Of us, AKA.
To have like all of us, to have like an offsite. It feels like a really kind of ripe opportunity for like, you know, because like, we're not doing first person shooters together at an offsite, but we might be doing icebreakers.
Yeah, we've totally.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, we've totally seen that. We're actually building some scenes specifically for that use case because it's come up a few times recently where they're like, okay, can we all come in, dress our avatars? Maybe we can all give them some company swag to like rep in this. We all love like swag, let's be honest. And digital swag, better for the environment. So we were talking about doing that and then getting some really fun games going on. We've done like having groups come in and do like a parkour tournament. We have the chess tournament, like I said. The new Game Arena has a lot of really fun games working through different scenes like that, but a few creators are actually working on building scenes with that audience in mind, and so I expect that'll happen a lot more. We've also seen the other use case being not necessarily remote teams, but NFT communities.
Right.
A kid, I don't know if you're familiar with that one, by Raspy. They come in every single Friday night and have a DJ party. And they created with us linked wearables. So if you have your wallet with your Kid Called Beast wearable in it, they've created, I believe it was 27 versions of Decentraland wearables, and each original NFT is linked to one of those 27. And so the only way to have that wearable is you have to own a Kid Called Beast. And so it's a really cool use case, additional utility, but also like community member recognition type of moment where you come in and you're like, oh, you're in. Like we're both in the same community and they have a good time together. And so we've seen more and more communities coming to us saying like, I want to get our community together for something. What can we do? SheFi, we just did that. We're doing the SheFi graduation this season is happening in December.
That's great.
Those type of moments where you're like, exactly like you said, remote teams, remote communities. How do you have a big social moment together without everyone traveling?
Exactly. And so, okay, so we're in crypto. We're all kind of primed for this kind of idea. Are there any other industries that you see are coming in for partnerships to utilize Decentraland's virtual spaces?
The next big one we've been talking a lot about and discussing is education. So education has been really interesting, partnering with some universities or some job industries to like learn more about this space, but also have tutorials or a more engaging way to learn something. So those are kind of the ones I've been focusing on is like the HR, hiring, people experiences, and education for sure.
Get those teenagers into the metaverse.
That is one thing that is a little bit different about Decentraland is we are more like adults. So older teens, adults versus like the Robloxes of the world. So
right.
That's been one thing that we've said when you're like, oh, where do you fit in this world? Like we are the adult experience for you. So come on in, hang out with other grownups.
Yeah, post-graduation, come on in. No, I love that because when I think about my time in Decentraland, like I can find a magazine shop, I can find an art gallery. Like it really is more similar to what I would have started doing when I was, 18 and older versus high school age or younger. So that makes a lot of sense. So digital real estate was a huge topic in the last cycle. So I'd love your thoughts on, how has the market for virtual land evolved in the last 4 years?
Yeah, I think right now we're at a point where people are more realistic than the last hype cycle. Like everyone.
What?
Realistic. Like, okay, this is not Ready Player One. You're putting on a headset and it's like the real world out there. Like everyone has a little bit more understanding of like what's technically possible, what we're going to experience. With digital real estate, for us, we are not like real world assets, RWAs. A lot of people have been asking us like, oh, is your real estate tied to a physical real estate plot? It is not. We are just virtual real estate. So the land is the land that only exists in the world of Decentraland. But we do see where your location kind of matters, just like in New York City or San Francisco. Like, who's your neighbor? What are they building next to you? If they're doing cool stuff, you'll get some foot traffic, because we are one of the few metaverses that is an open, traversable world. So you walk down the road and you can stumble upon a bunch of different experiences. Many others are single island or single use environments. So that is one distinction. And so that is why our land has a little bit of a different just value and association, is people are thinking like, oh, we now have water. So like, oh, I have water's edge land, or I'm near this plaza where there's going to be a big art week. Okay, that means a lot of people are going to come to art week. They may see my land, and then that type of experience happens. So I think being traversable is like a real identifier there.
And is there like a California part of Decentraland where you start mining and you find Bitcoin? I mean, who knows?
There is a mining game that you do get rewards. It is not Bitcoin, unfortunately, or I will spend all day in there.
Otherwise, we're quitting our jobs and going over there.
There are some palm tree scenes, though, that give me very California vibes. I love it. Someone did one that's like a beachfront, and they made sand and palm trees. Some people have done like really amazing things with water. There's a place called Rooston's Cove, and he did like a very beachy cove scene. So it's really like whatever the creator can come up with and technically do, there is a wide range of experiences in there. So I'm really excited to check them out.
So, okay, slight side quest. Have you noticed any creators able to like hack the system and create anything kind of that you weren't expecting? And the example I'll give is I learned of someone who was able to hack into crypto voxels and put rats, like program rats to run around one section of the world. So I'm just curious, have you seen anything like that happening in Decentraland?
People have definitely, I wouldn't call it hacked, but like built things that like have blown our team's mind. Like I'll see something and be like, how? What is this? Like, what am I experiencing? And I'll send it to my like engineers or my content team and be like, did you know we could do this? And they were like, no clue. That's awesome. I went to one scene that was for, I'm trying to think, Art Week last year, where it was like a black room and doors kept like reappearing, and you went through one and it brought you to like a whole nother experience, but you were still within the same coordinates. And I was like, I feel like I'm time traveling, space traveling, but my avatar is in the same coordinate. How is this working?
Okay.
Yeah, they've done like really cool stuff with general physics. Some people have done really interesting things. People have made it snow and rain, so that's been a ton of fun to just kind of watch. So I think the platform was completely rebuilt from the ground up in 2024, and we relaunched in October 2024. So what people are doing today is totally different from what they were doing, a year ago in Decentraland. And I think they're just getting started on pushing the boundaries. And so I feel like once a week I'm sending something to the team being like, did you know this was possible? Did you know this was possible? And I'm getting all the like head blown emojis in Slack. So,
well, quantum physics is happening in Decentraland, apparently.
Yeah. More to come on how they're breaking stuff, and I love to see it. That's like the point of source code, right? Like build something I could not imagine.
Yeah, exactly. So let's talk a little bit about land. How is land faring in the current cycle?
Yeah, we're seeing interest. I think everything in our marketplace totally plays to general market cycle. Like, are people talking about crypto? We see some interest. Are people not talking about crypto? We don't see some interest. This year in particular, we've seen over 2 million unique visitors to Decentraland's landing page, like in the past few months. And so we're like, okay, there's general interest in this space again. And I think that shows in our marketplace sales starting to go up again in the past few months. So interest is coming as, more talk is happening on mainstream news about crypto, as more is coming up about the metaverse as a whole. We tend to get traffic from that because we've been in this space so long.
Yeah, and I think like we were talking about earlier, right? The speculation that was happening in 2021, I'm sure you got it as often as I did. Why would I spend money on a JPEG when I can just right click save,
Exactly.
Heard that question 10 million times and I'm done. Yeah. But I think there's this new trend though happening, and you can confirm or deny, but people aren't like as suspicious of it because they're like, oh, I can buy a wearable for $10. I could buy an NFT for $1. Like they don't see the headlines of like the Beeple $69 million sale or the CryptoPunk for $1 bazillion, right? So I think I definitely think that the ways in which people are thinking of NFTs has drastically shifted. And by people, I mean the mainstream audiences.
Yeah. I think what's also helped us a ton is we put it all on the back end. Like, I don't say a wearable is an NFT to people outside the circle. Like, I was just like, you own this wearable. You could buy it, you could sell it, you could wear it, your choice. I never even say NFT because they don't really care, honestly, how it works on the back end as long as they know they can use it. So we've done a lot of work to make sure pretty much everything is Web 2 friendly language. You can sign into Decentraland without needing a MetaMask wallet. Like, you can sign in with your Google, your X account, your Discord account, just jump in and we'll make the wallet on the back end. You do have a wallet, so they're getting education over time to be like, oh, send me your wallet address. And they're like, what's a wallet? And then you explain them and you gift them something for it. So that's been happening. We actually saw this year, we're at about 62% are using Web 2 logins versus Web 3 logins, which is a huge pivot from a year ago.
Yeah. I imagine before it must have been mostly Web 3 people.
Like 98% were like, I have a wallet. I know what I'm talking about. What blockchain? Like they knew it. They were our very early adopters. And now we're at a phase where people were like, oh, I was like using GPT about how to see digital art and I ended up here. And I'm like, awesome. Very cool. Love that for you. Let's explain where you are.
Thank you, AI.
Yes, I love you. ChatGPT, good job. If you're listening. So we're starting this. We know you're listening. We're starting to see that more and more. And so just making sure we are making everything welcoming to people and not scaring them off with language that could be confusing, acronyms that they do not understand. We are like queens and kings of acronyms in this space. And
oh my God, I know.
That don't really exist. So like we really went through and we're like, okay, on our homepage, like we don't say crypto. We don't say NFT. We don't say metaverse. Like we're using words that are everyday language because Decentraland solves an everyday problem for people. Like I want to connect with people across the globe. That's not a crypto problem. We just happen to power the solution with crypto and blockchain.
Yeah, and I'll be really curious to see how experiences like these help bring people together, because I think when you're like talking to people on Twitter or on Instagram or Reddit, it still is a very like flat experience versus this. Like you're saying, there's the emote, there's the fashion, there's like music and art, there's so much more. So I'll be curious to see like how that changes the types of conversations we're having and hopefully how people interact in real life, because the opposite has not been great.
Yeah, I think thinking about the internet, so many people have said we're at a phase where like we're more isolated than ever, when people thought the internet would bring us closer together than ever. And I feel like when I'm at a Decentraland event, I see that glimmer of hope of like, even though we're all far away and I'll be at an event and I'm like, okay, Mr. Dingy is in this country, Kness is in this country, I'm over here, like, yet we're all actually together and having like a real friendship. I think one of the things people think about is they're like, oh, that's my online friend. And what we've seen is those, like in crypto Twitter, in Decentraland, those are not like online friends. Like you probably talk to these people and tell them more than you do your in physical life friends. And so being able to see that like cross borders and cross technology and form like friendships that you maybe couldn't have had without this technology and this experience, and find people that are also early adopters and innovators and interested in new tech. It's just a huge opportunity for people to like learn and make connection.
Absolutely. And I think that combined with the fact that you are working with education and, you know, the kind of a prime demographic, I think looks pretty cool.
We think so, for sure.
What if sending crypto felt more human? Pulse just launched Red Packets, a new way to gift tokens with meaning. It's gasless, gamified, and claimable inside group chats only. Think airdrops meet social cues on-chain. Backed by smart wallet tech and live across major L2s, Red Packets turn communities into microeconomies of gratitude and growth. No seed phrases, no friction, just connection with value. Check it out at pulse.social.
So I'd love to talk a little bit about, you know, some of the major brands that have been stepping into Web3, a lot more utilizing it for like loyalty programs. But it's kind of similar to what you were saying, right? People are familiar with digital wearables, whether or not it's NFTs. So how How is Decentraland working with brands? Are you working with any brands right now to create immersive experiences? And what does this look like and what does this mean for its users?
Yeah, I think brands, so I come from traditional Web2 ad agencies and big brands. So I know their life cycles are so long. Like they are planning 2 years from now what they're going to do. And so we saw a lot of them come at that big rush like we had talked about before. And then budgets dried up and they come with the economy. So they ebb and flow totally based on economic cycles for sure. But when we have ones that come to us, we kind of have a filter for like who we work with too. We're like, are you willing to come in and like learn about the ecosystem, the community, and contribute? Or are you seeing it as a profit opportunity and an extractor? Yeah. So for us, like we're really specific. Like if you want to come for us, like don't be selling. Like come and you're giving experiences. You're realizing that a Decentraland branded experience may be worth more in some situations than the 2-second scroll you get on Instagram, because our users usually stay, our brand experiences get about 45 minutes of average dwell time in our brand experience. So like if you're a brand marketer out there, like, and you want to go to your boss and be like, I had people really engage with my brand, these type of experiences are great. It's like creating a pop-up shop in New York, but you don't have to only have New Yorkers. You can have this pop-up experience that is really fun. I think of the Doritos one was when I was early on the team. It was so much fun. They did one during the Super Bowl. So they were doing a big Super Bowl normal brand campaign, and they were like, okay, let's make a digital version in Decentraland. And they had their triangle. It was called the Doritos Triangle Studio. It was like this really cool design. It's all triangles. Like it doesn't look like a normal office building. Like it's cool.
Right.
And you walked in and you got a wearable that was like an orange glow suit. Like your fingers get orange with Doritos. Like hilarious. So funny. And it glowed. And then you went in and you made music with Doritos sounds. So a chip opening, a bag opening, like just the brand integration was hilarious. And then the parkour out the back of the building was all like a chip parkour, and you had to get to the top and you were in this other wearable. And I was like, they get it. Like this was fun.
That is so degen.
It was like so much fun. And they had like selfie moments throughout the scene, which our community is all about, the like avatar selfie moment. And so I was like, they came in, they understood the assignment. They didn't sell a single thing. They like had a ton of fun. They did contests on social for people posting about the brand. And it was just like all around a great experience. And as a marketer, I'm like, you got so much out of that. You got a ton of social content. Our community members are like, they're so happy because they have a positive association with the Doritos brand from that experience. They got free stuff that they love. They hired some of our community members to like create social content. So some of them got paid, which is amazing. And so like that ecosystem of come in and be willing to give versus extract, and you'll have brand rewards coming out of that. And so those are the types of partners I'm always looking for. And I think those are the ones that get this space because again, we know there are so many extractors out here. And so if a brand comes in and they're like, how can I really connect with this community, those are the ones that are most successful.
I mean, I'm stoked already. I'm ready to go buy some Doritos just hearing about it. I mean, that sounds so fun.
One of our community members actually, as like a hype video, literally filled his in real physical life car with Doritos, bags of Doritos, as like, and like the trunk opened and it was like Doritos coming to Decentraland. It was so good. And I was like, this is fun. Like, this is the fun stuff.
No, not going to lie. When you started saying, you know, we got the brand experience for 45, I thought you were going to say seconds. And I was going to be like, wow, that's really impressive. And then you say minutes and I'm like, what? What?
Yeah, I mean, an Instagram thumb stop is 2 seconds. Like as a marketer, I'm always thinking about the thumb stop. Like, did you get them to just stop their thumb for like 2 seconds? But yeah, our average use in brand scenes is 45 minutes, which is unbelievable.
Wow. That is breathtaking. As a marketer as well, I'm like, wow. No, and that's great too, because, you know, there was a recent report that came out that said the short form content is actually really bad for our brains and our emotional well-being, you know, because of the dopamine, and bad for our attention spans. We know all this. We feel it every second of every day, I think.
We live it. Yep.
It's kind of fascinating that like what you're talking about is something that is in direct opposition to that culture that has been created out of social media. So I'll be curious to see. I think people are hungry for it. I think we're tired, and the idea of hanging out in a virtual world for an hour kind of sounds relaxing, funny enough.
I don't want to be sold to. I just want to like have a good time. And
I just want a glow suit.
Yeah. I love my Doritos glow suit. I wear it often.
So that's tokenized as well?
So it's an NFT, the outfit. So 100%. And then brands can decide, like you can token gate scenes, experiences. We've had brands do VIP areas. So if they're a brand that had already done an NFT drop, like you could say this part, and you could like make people see it but not access it, is gated only to holders. Totally possible to do. I mean, it's all code. So as long as you can code it, you could do it. So we've seen people come in with a VIP room or token gated experience as well. But primarily when we partner with people, we ask them to think about what are you giving and what is the free experience. If you want to level up something special, like you want to have a super exclusive wearable that there's only 10 of or something, totally makes sense. But like first start with what are you giving?
I mean, that's NFTs 101, guys.
Yeah. You want to be part of the culture?
No, exactly. I mean, I remember I teach at Sotheby's Institute about how to get into NFTs. And that's one of the first things I always say. It's like, do not just start minting and tweeting and shilling, because everyone's going to be like, look at that poser, you're out. So like you become a collector first, you really get immersed in the culture, you look for connection, right? So, I mean, it's really nice to see that those tenets of the culture are still alive and well here. Because I think that's how the connection happens. As soon as someone's trying to sell me something, I'm like, no thanks, loser, like they're blocked out immediately.
Yeah, you can tell real quick the grifters in the space. I feel like we all have our like radar up because given the space we're in, we're paying attention. We know we're like vibes off. Nope. Can't do it. And so
the 0.1% scam, that's too much for me.
Can't do it. Nope, you're out.
So this is very exciting. You guys are coming up to your 1-year mark of relaunching the space. That's really exciting. Are you seeing any promising like growth areas for you guys in the next 6 to 12 months? Anything for like NFT users and collectors to get excited about?
Yeah, I mean, I think if you're an NFT collector and interested in wearables, we just launched a marketplace credits program. So any user can start earning credits to use in the marketplace. It is a way for you to have free wearables and you could either stack them.
Ooh.
I stack my credits to get like the more rare ones, or you could go for volume and like buy the cheaper ones and have a ton of different outfits. So we've been seeing a lot of fun with that. That just launched. So season 2 launched last week. So we're really excited about that. I think that brings in the type of user that wants like a play to earn type of mechanism without us, again, extracting from the system. It's like we funded it. We are making sure if you redeem a credit, the creator gets real mana, like we pay them out, but it's part of the ecosystem and the flywheel that we want to make sure that the whole community is getting something out of it again. Like you play, you can earn wearables and emotes, you're a creator. Now there's more people buying wearables and emotes and they have some disposable credits to use. That's awesome for the economy as a whole. So we're excited about that. I'm honestly still just playing in the Web 2 growth area, and that's where I'm most excited. Like I'm seeing niche audience opportunities, and I just can't wait for them all to start experiencing Web3 in the way we know it, where it can be just fun if you want it to just be fun. It doesn't have to always be the serious, super techie side. Like there can be elements that are just fun, and we can be a really great opportunity for people to come in. Like I always say, Decentraland is a great first step for Web3. Because again, a lot of it's on the back burner. The way you're learning is fun, like an NFT. How does that work? Let me drop you something. See, I just gifted it to you. Now you own it. And like people can learn in a really easy way. And I think we tend to in this space just overcomplicate. I don't know if everyone's trying to sound like smarter than someone else, but I'm like, it's simple. Like we're just trying to make friends, have fun, have a good time, and across the way, you can build on chain. You can collect on chain. You can build. We just did Career Quest in Decentraland where people could start thinking about like, how do I build my Decentraland digital identity as a Web3 portfolio? Like I am a collector. These are the amount of people I've collected from. I'm a builder. I've built on chain. I've done these things, and like we could start thinking about it from like the ground up. Like you could start little and grow into this space. Like I don't consider myself a Web3 expert, and I have a great time in Decentraland every single day. So I think that's what I'm most excited about, is like being an onboarding vehicle for the masses as we continue to grow and add more features that excite everyone.
I mean, you start in Decentraland, and 6 months from now, maybe you're trading in liquidity pools. Who knows?
It's happened. Crazier things could happen.
I could see it. No, I think that's really great, just as a stepping stone for the general public. And I think also could potentially be for people who are like in DeFi, crypto trading, and maybe want to downshift and be like, okay, I don't want to deal with all these numbers and everything anymore. I'm going to go see a DJ set in Decentraland. So it kind of works for lots of people.
We've actually seen, which is so funny, I was just talking to a community member who says they do their after work walk in Decentraland. Like they come in, like put some headphones on and like just explore the world and look for a new build. And he was like, that's how I forget what his like physical job was, but he was like, it was a very high stress, very high like intensity job. And he was like, I just go for a walk, and like it's lo-fi, it's fun, it's chill. You may stumble into a friend and he'll like say hi. Sometimes they go for a walk together. And I was like, what a fun, random experience. Like to just be like, my real life is really intense and I want to have like a slow moment too. And so it's really awesome to make it what you want it to be.
Clear your mind, you know?
Yeah,
it's not bad.
There's look at some art. Look at some art. There's a scene that's coming out. It's still in development, but it has this beautiful floating whale in the sky. And I was looking at it being like, this is the coolest thing I've seen in a while. Like, so you never know what you're going to stumble across. It could be a floating whale in the sky. Who knows?
Floating whale, and then maybe I'll become the crypto whale, you know, from inspiration. I'll be nice.
That's the hope.
Awesome. Yeah, right. There's hope for us yet. So just to start wrapping up, you know, you've talked about kind of being that gateway from Web 2 to Web 3. That sounds like a short to midterm goal. What's your long-term vision with Decentraland? Where do you see it going after that?
I would love to hear about niche communities that sprung up through Decentraland and like became in the physical world communities over time. Like I think there's so many opportunities. We did our first in-person like big summit with the Decentraland community last year, and we brought everyone to Argentina. We had 100 people from 22 countries. It was amazing. And I was like, I would love to see that at a broad scale, where people with very niche interests and opportunities like started and met online and then like flourished into these like deep friendships that I started seeing Decentraland pop-ups like all over the globe in the physical world. That would be like a dream, and really amazing to see how we made an impact on like true friendship.
Yeah. I mean, people don't talk enough, in my opinion, about cultural capital and how worthwhile that is. And so that's really great that that's something that, you know, when you think of Web3 companies, you're kind of like, oh, it's mostly about making money. Here it's like, it sounds like it's more about making connection. And that's great. We need that these days.
Profit. Yeah, we're a nonprofit. We're a zero revenue company on the Decentraland Foundation side. So that is one of the things that sets us apart too. Like we're not extracting, we're not making money. It's built as a public good. And so I think being able to see that public good and that like community spread wider, I think our space could use a little more of it.
Certainly. And so, speaking of which, for people who are interested in coming into Decentraland, dipping their toes into the metaverse, what would your advice be?
Yeah, you can go to decentraland.org and download, make your avatar, jump in, just say hi, hang out in the Genesis Plaza, which is the main place you'll land. And the community members, I promise, if you meet anyone, they will immediately be like, let me gift you something, let me get you started, you're in your default wearables, we got to hook you up. So just say hi, wander around, Find your people.
Well, Kim, this has been so wonderful chatting with you for the last hour. Thank you so much for spending time with us. Where can our audience find you to learn more?
I am on Twitter at Kimbo NFT from my early NFT days. The name just kind of stuck. And then in World, if you're in Decentraland, you can say hi to me. I'm at Kimbo.
Okay, and I'll be looking for you on that swing set.
Oh, I'll be there.
All right, thanks so much.
Bye.
Thank you for joining us on this thoughtful journey with Kim Currier, where we explore the resurgence of the NFT market, the evolving landscape of digital collectibles, and Decentraland's unique place amid the ever-shifting metaverse. Maybe you found yourself pondering the allure of digital wearables, the challenges and promises of virtual real estate, or the ways creators are carving new paths in virtual economies. If you like this episode, be sure to like and subscribe for more content like this. And join us for next week's episode, where we'll be talking to Prabal Banerjee, co-founder at Avail and former research lead at Polygon, about the promises of horizontal scalability and building infrastructure that makes modular rollups composable by default. But until then, stay informed, stay tuned, stay defiant.